madman. In a good way.
He's got the vanity of a bad actor, and the arrogance of a great writer.
What we'll never know is what's really going on in that head. I don't know whether I do want to know.
No, I'm here. I'm here because of a psychiatrist. I'm here because of a psychiatrist. Some crazy fucking Scotch bitch. I'm here because of a psychiatrist. I get up and I have a couple of aspirins, a mouthful of SR, you know, sometimes a glass of wine at 8 in the morning, which is really disgusting. You know why I'm here? And I get in here into this room and I sit here and I put a page in trying to think of the character. When I hear the voices, I say to my wife all the time, if I can't hear them, I can't write them. And then they come in sometimes. It's like trying to tune a radio. On a bad day, you got crackle and distortion and you can't tune in. It's like trying to get Buenos Aires. I had scenes in Withnail where I was bang on Radio 4 and I couldn't type it fast enough because they were talking so fast to me, you know. And that is, for a writer, is the great magic moment of writing, when you're just hearing these voices.
A trained actor reduced to the status of a bum. I mean, look at us. Nothing but reasonable members of society demand as their rights. No fridges, no televisions, no phones. Much more of this I'm going to apply for Meals on Wheels.
What happened to your cigar commercial?
That's what I want to know. What happened to my cigar commercial? What happened to my agent? Bastard must have died.
Meanwhile, my sources tell me 2 Army helicopters are landing here, just across the airfield. And now my sources tell me that there's a rumor that the United States Air Force dropped a bomb, or several bombs, on the city of Nyack Lung.
My grandfather was caught molesting a wallaby in a private zoo in 1919.
A wallaby?
May have been a kangaroo, I'm not sure.
You mean sex with it?
I suppose so. He had his hand in its pouch.
Fucked it, didn't he?
He did not fuck it!
The same character goes through all the stories. It's a classic paranoid character that feels that the whole world is either spying on him or is out to get him, or that he is the one last bastion of sanity standing on this rock saying,
Bastards! You'll suffer! I'll show the lot of you! I'm gonna be a star!
I'm going to be a great star, or whatever the Withnail character did, or, you know, I'm going to see that this country has billboards all over it, or it's a sensibility of one man against the world.
I don't think I've ever sat down to write without having a head full of red. I drink lots of wine when I write for exactly the reason that you're not allowed to drink and drive.
I felt like eating Henry.
Because if you drink 2 bottles of wine and you're in a 30-mile-an-hour limit,
I felt like eating Henry.
You're going to exceed the speed limit and probably bugger something up. But that same sensation of drink drive is drink type, is why I drink when I type, because I can exceed the speed limit. You know, I don't have to stay in 30. I'll do 90 sometimes.
Bit early in the morning for festivities, isn't it?
These aren't mine, they belong to him.
You're drunk.
I assure you I'm not, officer. Honestly, I've only had a few ales.
Out of the car. Please. Sir.
Bruce picks at that weird scab of English repression and the insanity of the stiff upper lip. I always loved the moment in Withnail and I when the Richard E. Grant character comes in and orders the finest wines in the clotted cream tea room.
If you don't leave, we'll call the police.
Balls. We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now.
And that overturning, debunking of the sort of British institution, which is part and parcel of a sort of middle-class life, is what I find fascinating with Bruce's work. You know, it's like Ealing on acid.
All hairdressers are in the employment of the government. Hair oil aerials. They pick up signals from the cosmos and transmit them directly into the brain. This is the reason bald-headed men are uptight.
What absolute twaddle.
Has they just been busted?
No.
Then why is he wearing that old suit?
Old suit. This suit was cut by Hawks of Savile Row. Just because the best tailoring you've ever seen is above your fucking appendix doesn't mean anything.
He's a huge Charles Dickens fan, and I think you see that in the work. You see that in Withnail, in the kind of grotesque quality of a lot of the imagery, and in a lot of the settings and the sense of atmosphere that he creates, which is what carries the film forward, together with that kind of dialogue that just trips off the tongue and gives you a real insight into who these characters are.
Don't get uptight with me, mate.
Because if you do, I'll have to give you a dose of medicine. And if I spite you, you'll know you've been spoken to. You wouldn't spite me.
You're
too mean.
Besides, there's nothing invented I couldn't take.
If I medicined you, you'd think a brain tumour was a birthday present.
I could take
double anything you could.
The humour comes out of the characters, which of course are Bruce. It's the fact that it's coming from him transcends something like the Full Monty, where you feel people sat down and wrote something that was going to be a good comedy. Withnail's not a comedy, I don't think, even though it makes you laugh.
Now, what I'm writing at the moment, I'm trying to write anyway, is a little two-hander comedy. It's called The Block, and it's about a girl who steals a very famous writer's manuscript. The lead character is an American, astonishingly cynical, kind of gruesome, uptight, claustrophobic freak, i.e. is me, except I'm not American. 36. 36, s'il vous plaît. 36? I want 37. I want the best goddamn room in the joint. I want the fucking penthouse. I have to speak it out loud because there is a kind of a music in there. You know, when you're with someone who can tell a really good joke, although I hate jokes, but someone who can tell a really good joke, they get the rhythm of the joke right. So I have to say it till it sounds right to my ear, and then I think, hey, that sounds witty, that sounds funny to me. I want to live in it. Which is why I'm quite strict with actors about the lines. I'm paying for it, I want to live in it. If I, as a pretty bad actor, can act the line and make it work, I need a good professional actor to make the line work, you know. I won't have any of this improv bollocks that actors like to do, you know, because I've sat in here for hours and hours and hours to make it work. Now, if I can say it, they can say it. Otherwise, they better not act for me.